Om Tat Sat. Welcome to Gyan Bhakti. We are currently covering the Holy Scripture, Mysticism of Ramayana. Commentary is by my Guruji, Swami Jyotirmayananda Ji Maharaj, narrated by myself, Swami Nikhilananda. We are currently on Uttarakhand and we were in yesterday's satsang discussing the beautiful story of Lord Hanumanji and Sita Mata giving him a diamond necklace. So let's explore the mystical meaning today. And this is very profound. Most of this tapasya that I am doing to bring you daily videos every single day is so that we can emulate these changes into our practical life. These are not just stories for us to repeat as history or just to read once in a while or just do a Ramayana Katha, sing some bhajans and end it. It's really to transform our lives and change our very being and to really go after the deeper meaning. This is the real nectar, not the history, but what you get out of that lesson, out of that teaching. And that is where Swamiji so profoundly explores the mystical meanings that actually help us in our evolution, in our human body and mind, senses, intellect to teach us properly. Otherwise, we come to this world, we think we are very spiritual, we just go to the temple, do our rituals, but we are also in the world and we are only living at a very functional, elementary level. It is good then not being spiritual at all, but it is much lower than the higher goal, which is mukti, liberation. Otherwise, we keep on shuttling back and forth between heaven and earth, assuming we are spiritual. But if we are not, then of course we could be demoted into a lower embodiment, and also hell is an option for people who are totally on the wrong side of ethical behavior. So this is very important that we take this to our heart and apply these teachings in our daily life. That is the central mission of my doing this daily satsanga and then sharing it so beautifully in an open way with all of you beautiful souls, because each one of us is divine. Every one of us has that potentiality. Sometimes we just don't know it, or we are lost in the world, or we are too busy. And then when a guru comes in, a teacher comes in, and he points out what needs to be done, that helps us and that shines the light. And all it takes is the light, one ray of light, to eliminate darkness forever. So that is the journey we need to focus on. So let's get started on this deeper satsang and the mystical meaning of Lord Hanuman. It is very important we go deep into it, introspect on it. After you listen to the satsang, spend some time with yourself, introspecting, meditating, going within. Close your eyes and look into your heart rather than outside. And don't be in a rush. Try to find some extra time to enjoy this spiritual nectar. And then you will see that your life starts to improve. Everything you're doing will start to get better. That is the true essence of spirituality. Unless that is happening, just know we are at the surface level. So let's move with the mystical meaning. As this colorful story points out, material wealth has no meaning or value if it is not related to the spiritual evolution of the aspirant. An aspirant should exercise discrimination and dispassion. Those are the teeth of the divine monkey, Hanuman. Discrimination and dispassion. Discrimination is called viveka, dispassion is called vairagya. So as if to crunch upon every object that he encounters. So test everything in this world with your contemplative thought process. If the object fails to serve him on the spiritual path, then there is no Rama in that object, and therefore it should be ruthlessly abandoned. That is the essential teaching. Don't just go run after good looking. All that glitters is not gold. All that appears alluring and intoxicating, only gives us pain. That is the essential message here. So go after Rama, not after the how expensive this diamond is, for example. In addition, with the nails of inquiry and reflection, he must tear open his very heart and see whether Rama is there or not. So that is Hanumanji guiding us that we should try to develop the same level of bhakti, love, dedication, whether love for God has entered deep within him or not. That should be the conviction we should have. If love for God has not entered deep within his heart, all his attainments are in vain. This is why people may have a lot of money, name, fame, and yet they have stress, they have lack of peace, they have lack of harmony, and though materially affluent. So that is not the real test of our existence on human earth. It is to really understand what the true purpose of our life is. Because one day we all have to go. Corona or no corona, we have to depart one day. That is the perpetual virus called the virus of death, which nobody can avoid, not the scientists, not anybody with all their might. So we have to prepare for that, and it is not a scary thing. Most people who are not spiritual are worried about it, but spiritual people have earned that right to be in God's holy embrace. That is what we have to work on. If on the other hand he discovers Rama within and allows his personality to be rooted in the awareness of God, he has attained the highest goal of life. And that is what the essence of the scriptures are. They take us out of the illusion and bring us into real nectar. There is nothing greater in this world than the attainment of divine love. That is the real achievement. Maya Shakti or Prakriti, the divine power inseparable from God, is personified in Sita Mata. Sita Mata or Prakriti presents objects of the world before every soul for the promotion of its evolution and liberation. When Vairagya or dispassion is lacking, the Maya Shakti of the Lord deludes the soul. But when an aspirant attains the highest state of Vairagya or dispassion, the Divine Mother permits his soul to attain union with the Absolute Self. So please know that is within every one of us to achieve that state. We are all one universal spiritual family, but it's a matter of how much purification we need to do to get to that point, to realize that potential. Nothing pleases the mother more than witnessing the liberation of every soul. Actually, that is a matter of great rejoicing, great happiness when that happens. Thus, Sita was intensely delighted to see Hanumanji crunching upon the beads of her garland, thereby illustrating the fact that he had transcended all the treasures and the glories of the material world. Although the material world may have looked at it as a foolish act, as a stupid act, as like a monkey doesn't know what he's doing, to something that is so profound that they all felt ashamed when they saw the devotion that Hanumanji had and what reverence Rama had for Hanumanji also. So these are the deeper lessons for each of us to learn. Lord Hanuman is the very personification of purity, spiritual strength, dispassion, and devotion. In other words, an ideal role model for all of us. An aspirant should cultivate these qualities within his personality, and thus, having unfolded Hanuman within himself, he should attain self-realization and become immersed in infinite bliss. So these are not just buzzwords that we are talking about, self-realization, nirvana, mukti, or thinking that only Lord Rama or Hanumanji or Buddha or Krishna could do it. You and I can do it. Our Guruji has already done it. So it is very much possible, but we have to be willing to change the focus of our life from external to internal. That means you still continue to do your external duties, but inwardly you get detached more and more from the world and attached more and more to God. So that is the deeper meaning, and we will be covering more about Ram Rajya in tomorrow's Satsanga. So I hope you're enjoying these beautiful, immersive explanations and the scripture. And my humble request is, if you can share this great knowledge with whoever you encounter, then you are also creating a satsanga opportunity in your own sphere of influence, and good company is the essence of all that is good. So if you can share this video or subscribe it or promote it in any which way you know how, it would be doing a great service to Lord Rama, Hanumanji, Sita Mata, spirituality, Sanatan Dharma, spirituality, and all those things. It's not for me. I really don't like to promote these things. They should be automatically done. But we live in a very different world where things have so materialized to tamasic and rajasic nature, where everything is valued only with money and what's in it for me, that this becomes important, that we understand that we first have to find purity, then everything else will come to us. So I hope this makes sense to you, how I'm sharing this, and I hope you are continuing to enjoy these videos, and we will be covering more of this satsang in tomorrow's episode of Ramarajya. This is Swami Nikhilananda. Om Tat Sat.